The Department of Government Efficiency has recently made staff and funding cuts to the Institute of Museum and Library Services. This means libraries receiving federal grants across the nation will no longer see federal funding support. According to the Director of Library Services at the Vienna Public Library, Brianna Call, the brunt of the impact will be felt in rural and impoverished areas. Our LV Hissam spoke with her about how these cuts could potentially impact libraries in our community and beyond.
Federal budget cuts spearheaded by the Department of Government Efficiency have spread to the Institute of Museum and Library Services. This means that libraries across the nation may experience a loss of federal grants and funding that could be critical to smaller libraries in rural and impoverished communities. Director of Library Services at the Vienna Public Library, Brenna Call, explains that in West Virginia, this federal funding would usually go to the state-level entity known as the West Virginia Library Commission, which would then go through grant processes to be given to libraries throughout the state based on need. Call explains that the federal funding is used by libraries in a few key ways: automation systems that act as computerized versions of card catalogs, internet connection and broadband access for those who are unable to have those services at home, and shared state databases. Call says that West Virginia libraries are typically funded at the local level primarily. This means that the federal or state government money given to them is a lesser amount when compared to other money amounts received through levies or property taxes. Due to this, Call says that the Vienna Public Library will be affected by the lack of federal funding, although it will not be as severe as it would be in a smaller library, rural libraries, or impoverished communities.
In the state of transparency, I will say that Vienna Library is fairly blessed to be in a place where the property taxes are a little higher. The economy is maybe a little better than some of the places that that definitely depend on federal funding to keep their doors open. So we will be impacted by the loss of those federal funds.
Call says that libraries help to level the playing field for areas that are less economically diverse or less economically positioned in the world, and says that the many resources available to communities through libraries can be essential to all who utilize them.
I think anybody can go to the library and educate themselves. Anybody can go to the library and get a leg up. We do a lot of personal business services too. We have pro se legal forms. We do notary services. We do copies. Libraries have a lot to offer people beyond your traditional story hours and craft nights. So not that those things are less important, because they're definitely also the foundation of what we do here as libraries.
While we may see a small impact locally in comparison to areas in greater need of financial assistance for libraries, Call says that she is concerned for libraries who rely heavily on federal funding and finds the situation worrisome.
I find it very discouraging and very worrisome that even though our particular library will probably weather this storm fairly well, again, it sets a tone for whether or not we as a society, as a community, value the institution of libraries. So I think we need to, if you love your library, you need to support it both monetarily at the levy votes. You need to be able to do that, and you also need to use your library and talk to people about why libraries are important if they're important to you. So I think that advocacy is going to be more important moving forward in the current political climate.
In Vienna, LV Hissam for WTAP News.